Good day, guys. My name is Jiaotong. I'm a law lecturer of Xi'an Jiaotong-Liverpool University. Today, I'd like to share with you the entitled research legal examination on information processing in the big data era, a case study of DiDi. Our team have three members: Kai Liu, Zixuan Li, and I. Today's presentation will be held by Zixuan Li and I. This year, in August, an e-commerce platform called DiDi in China got seriously punished by Chinese authorities concerned. This case is very famous in China. It made us interested on doing research in this field. Now, please allow me to begin at introduction of today's presentation. The advent of computer technology, which makes possible of internet. Then comes the big data era. With the help of big data application, our working efficiency gets highly elevated and our life becomes more convenient, and so on. While aside from the positive effects mentioned above, the big data application poses some serious negative effects on our life and society. It's like a double-edged sword. It needs updated legislature, which is one of the approaches to cope with the problems it caused. Now, as listed on the PPT, the positive effects include the network of hardware and software technology, which makes our ability highly lifted to collect information and processing them. Then some e-commerce platform can do some personalized information, which can make our daily life greatly more convenient. Generally, it can boost the efficiency of whole society. It can boost the domestic economy. As for the negative effects, accordingly, which includes endangered personal information leakage and ensued the personal privacy may be infringed upon. It may increase the difficulties of business secret management leakage. Even worse, it may pose great threat to the national security. Problems already posed, then it needs different kinds of approaches to cope with such issues. Many scholars already pay constant attention to such a field, as listed on the literature review, Liu addressed that big data at work all the time, collecting all the information into a database. The rapid development of database technology and wide application of database management system make people accumulate more and more data. And Letourneau also give his ideas on how to solve the problems. We take into account their views. Then later on, we will give our own views in our research on how to solve the problems. Then let's welcome Zixuan Li to continue the presentation.
Okay, hello, my name is Zixuan Li. Now, please allow me to introduce the next part of methodology. This paper mainly adopts qualitative analysis to investigate the information processing and information security protection in the context of big data. And then we further study the effect of big data for personal life, business operation, and social change. Through collecting information from social media and academic reports, we found that big data has from negative impact on protecting personal information and information safety. Oh, sorry. What's more, we compare traditional data and big data and investigate them. Especially, we use the case of DiDi to estimate the big data of disadvantages. However, there are some limitations for this method because of inadequate research budget. We just could collect information through governmental reports and media news due to protection of trade secrets. So let's talk about some cases for DiDi. Okay, some of DiDi's existing business involve personal information protection. The drivers of DiDi result into 2 homicide cases. A big part of is that passenger information is highly transparent. This leads to the lawbreakers have an opening. Nowadays, DiDi has been ordered to the removed from the App Store for allegedly leaking the safety information of China in order to be listed in the US. DiDi was removed from the App Store after CSA tested and verified that its app had illegally collected users' personal information. Meanwhile, DiDi's listing on the US stock market had raised public concerns about the data security. Even though DiDi denied the claim, but most people don't believe it. So, after we finish the case of review of DiDi's part, we can start findings. In reality, many e-commerce platforms always inadequate protection for customers' information. For example, the app of TikTok assumes that users agree TikTok to collect their geographical location information and send them information about local food, culture, and tourist attractions. It shoots from the side that they know make the most of people footprints left behind on internet. Although it can service better for customers, it still has great potential for disclosure of personal information. This default collection of personal information allows the platforms to hold a huge amount of user data. The platform may sell the data for profit or leak it due to poor protection, which may create opportunities for cyber fraud at the same time. The key to managing cyber fraud lies in ensuring the personal information security. Nowadays, cyber fraud cases are increasingly linked to the inadequate protection of personal information. Thus, Shi suggested that personal information should be defined from the perspective of personal and property security in criminal law because it is not enough just to set up normal law to protection personal information. According to the case of China personal information in recent years. So let's move on the next part of the paper conclusion. Current argument mainly focus on whether give right to data. Now, many big data dispute cases are handled in the form of legal interest. It applies to different types of big data application cases. Therefore, some scholars think legalize the big data application in the form of regulation mode, and think legalize the big data application in the form of regulation mode and combine the legislative restoration mode with the behavior regulation mode. So, given the arguments in legal practice, this paper suggests that when companies infringing upon individuals' right of privacy, criminal punishment should be imposed in addition to the administrative penalties. Besides, while unilaterally protecting the privacy and security of personal information, close attention should also be paid to the interest to enterprises. Last but important, at the same time of standardizing the behavior of business platforms, it is necessary to reasonably restrict the behaviors of individuals when they surf the internet. so as to achieve the mutual checks and balances between platforms and users. In addition, blacklisting the enterprises and individuals with dishonest network use could also prevent the potential risks of future big data application. Okay, this all for the today's for paper the presentation. This the our paper reference list. That's all. Thank you.